Hi, and welcome to Astro Bites for Wednesday, the 28th of August 2024. When I do a whole lot in a row, I just forget what day it is and what the date is, and I get in such a muddle. Anyway, we've got some really interesting energy today, and we have a very interesting word of the day. So stick around for that after I've gone through the daily astrology. So there is something in a chart which, if you look at charts, you'll see something that says VX, and that is the vertex. Now, it's not a planet, it's not an asteroid, it's not a space object. It's a little bit like with the nodes. It's a point in space or a point in time. It's like a trigger point. Now, when I first looked at this chart, I thought, whoa, that's interesting, because I think there are two major aspects today that I want to focus on. Now, the moon, first of all, has moved into the sign it rules, Cancer. So this takes us back into a more gentle and nurturing way of looking after ourselves today, away from the frenzy of overthinking and maybe over talking and over communicating of yesterday. So the vertex is trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, and it's literally got 4 minutes before it retrogrades into Capricorn. So there's something today that tells me you're going to get triggered by something or someone. I think it's to do with relationships, because the vertex is at the 0 degree of Libra. So it's a point in space and time. And I think you get triggered by something that can potentially be very transforming for everybody concerned. But there is an element of confusion or disbelief going around, because Venus in Virgo at the 29th degree, remember that's known as the anaretic degree of a sign. And what that means is that it has more energy and power. Venus today is in, opposition to Neptune, retrograde in Pisces, and Neptune is all about confusion, delusion, disillusion, dissolving, confusion, anything that has an ION on the end. It can also be poison, it can be viruses, it can be just cloudiness, mistiness, foggy brain, all of that kind of energy. Neptune in turn is in this sextile to Pluto. So let's just have a think about this. So you've got the vertex making this trine to Pluto. So there is a trigger that is potentially transforming to do with relationships. But it's good because it's a trine. However, Venus opposite Neptune isn't trusting what it's being told. It's confused. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't quite know if I can trust this. I don't know if this is true. And it could be something really good. It could be something really positive. It could be a family member telling you something very positive. It could be a business partner or someone you work with, a colleague, or just a good friend, or a loved one, or someone you're in a relationship with. And Neptune sextiling Pluto is the saving grace. It's like Pluto is stepping in and saying, look, don't overthink this and get confused. Don't drown in the kind of drama of it, or in what looks like complex, difficult situations to work through with regard to whatever this is. And the moon is actually sextiling the sun. So the moon in Cancer is sextiling the sun in Virgo. The moon is getting ever closer to Virgo. It's got to go through Leo first, the rest of Cancer, then Leo, for the new moon next week on the 2nd, 3rd of September. Now, the moon sextiling the sun is really saying, feel it. What does your gut say? You remember when we had intuition as our word of the day? Neptune is kind of lording over this and kind of getting us all worked up inside and thinking, I don't think they meant that. I think that's wrong. I think I've misheard it. It's all, I'm very confused. This could be something we hear on the world stage as well. Equally, it could be that. But it's something that really kind of triggers us. And that trigger could be good, but we might flip it with our overthinking and our confusion into something negative. So if you are someone who tends to spiral down into the negative, stop it. Stop overthinking it. Just sit back and think, the moon's in Cancer. It's in the part of the chart, in the event chart, which is to do with communication. And basically what it's saying, it's talking to the sun. The sun is our heart, our soul, our beloved. It's masculine. The moon is feminine. This is about two hearts beating as one. Two hearts that are on the same page, but for some reason, you're not trusting it. So what this chart is saying is, trust it, please. Have some faith. Let's move on to our word of the day, because our word of the day, well, it's actually, it's two words, because I wanted to talk about dreaming, dreams, but daydreams. Because I was thinking that one of the things that one of the things I used to do when I was growing up, when we didn't have internet, when we didn't have mobile phones, when none of those things existed, if I was on a long, say, car journey with my parents, I would either sit quietly in the back and sing, because I loved singing. And so my poor parents, although they, bless them, said they were quite happy for me to sing, I would go through every song I knew and perform for them. And I used to be absolutely, well, I still am. I used to think Barbra Streisand was amazing, so I knew all her material and all her songs, and I used to sing them in the back of the car. That requires a little bit of memory and imagination, but daydreaming, so sometimes I would sit in the back of the car and make up stories. I would use my imagination. It was kind of like a creative visualization, but before we even knew about such things as creative visualization. We've kind of compartmentalized everything nowadays. And I was also thinking that these apps that we have, like Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and anything else that is out there, they can be very addictive. And I think they can prevent us from using our creative imagination in a positive visualization way. So maybe today is a day to detox from anything to do on social media and make up some stories, make up a lovely story. Do some just gentle creative visualization. Even if you're just sitting in a chair, a cozy chair, an armchair, and just kind of imagining yourself in a place that you love, like a place you've been on holiday, which was really beautiful, a lovely beach, and walking along and walking in the sand and walking in the sea. So daydreaming, I think, is something that is massively important, and it concerns me, and I know some of you out there are teachers and teach young children. It concerns me that our young children that are growing up, our youngsters, are not being given the opportunities to use their imaginations like we were. And I know most of my audience are probably over 40 and 50 and 60s, so and 70s, so, you know, and probably even 80s. So welcome everyone, my lovely soul fam. And I just think daydreaming is something that is incredibly important, and we've lost the art of it. As I said, it's got compartmentalized into creative visualization, but why not just have daydreaming without an intention and just see where that story takes you? And you can have people in it that you know and create situations. Try and keep it positive, try and keep it beautiful, try and keep it loving, but use your imagination. Try some daydreaming and see how that affects your day. So on that note, I'll leave you to have hopefully a really lovely, dreamy Wednesday. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for yet another Astro Bite. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.